Hey guys, we have Sector 2 of this Conquest series, Conquest 19, which we're earning Ben Solo in. So I've gone through and I've completed the sector nodes, worked on some of the feats, and I want to show you some of the teams I'm using. Before we jump in though, I do want to say that I have confirmed through one of my patrons, Molpokey, thank you so much for testing, the disc that we get at the end of Sector 3 that summons Ben Solo onto your team does not count as a version of Kylo for the global feat where you need to win with a mix of 5 total Kylos and Reys on your team. So if you do not have Galactic Legend Rey and Galactic Legend Kylo, Supreme Leader Kylo, you cannot do that feat. You need a Galactic Legend to complete it. Okay, I know it's not the best news, but now that that is out of the way, just a reminder for what we need to do in Sector 2. We need to defeat 50 enemies with resistance characters. We need to win 14 battles without any attackers in our squad. Attempt to inflict purge 300 times, so the Inquisitor feats are starting up in Sector 2. And then we also need to gain foresight 60 times. So I'll go through some of the teams that I've been using for them. I am going to show you a strategy that has been working for some people with purge. It has not been working for me, but I'm going to show you it anyway because I think it's important just to see it. And then if you can get it to work, all the power to you, and you're good to go. So let's hop in and look at some of the footage, and I'll just kind of talk you through my thought process for why I'm doing these teams. All right, guys, so the first team I want to show you is one that I was talking about in my preparation video. So I'm going against bounty hunters, and I'm going to use a JTR resistance team. So this team will actually help you work on 3 feats at once, 4 if you include the global feat for a full resistance team. But this team in particular, JTR, BB-8, R2, C-3PO, and Finn, original Finn, not Hero Brother Finn, counts as getting you resistance kills, so you're going towards the 50 that you need there. You have a full squad without any attackers on it, so you're good to go there. And this squad is just gaining so much foresight because of JTR and BB-8 and R2. That you are going towards the 60 foresight that you need to gain in this sector as well. So this is a really great squad if you can use it to make your way through the sector as you come across bounty hunter nodes or other nodes that JTR can handle. It's great. I obviously do have the volatile accelerator and amplify agony equipped already, but it is, in my opinion, probably the best no attacker squad you can use just because it double dips on so many other sector feats here. So that is pretty much that. So it's great. She can pretty much control the enemy team, which is what the squad is about. You're removing turn meter and stunning. So I wouldn't do this against like a Padme squad or something like that because you can't manipulate their turn meter. So just something to keep in mind there, and you'll be good to go. So let's move on to another squad that will double dip for your no attacker feat, and you will also get some foresight with this because of Yoda. So you've got a Padme lead, Yoda, Shock, General Kenobi, and C-3PO. So this is another really fun squad, and if you have some Zealous Ambition discs, Padme just wrecks people. She hits so hard once you've got Zealous Ambition equipped. So again, this is going to get you the no attackers in your squad feats. So you need 14 of those, and you're going to earn some foresight while you're going through with them as well. So between this and resistance, and if you have Galactic Legends and you're using those as well, you're going to get the foresight really quickly naturally that I wouldn't even be very concerned about it, to be honest with you, and necessarily needing to come back and farm it. I ended up getting all 60 before I was even 3/4 of the way through the sector. So you will not need to worry about that. It's really going to be the 14 wins with no attackers in your squad that is going to be like the feat that you're going to have to grind out, quote unquote, in this sector. All right, so I want to show you some purge, and I'm going to show you where I'm starting at. I have absolutely none right now. And this feat right now is sort of bugged, kind of in our favor, so it's probably going to be fixed for the next Conquest run. But currently right now, if you go against a Grand Inquisitor squad in Sector 2, the purge that they apply to you, typically through you counter-attacking them, counts for yourself as inflicting purge. It's a little bit weird. So I tried to use CLS first, and because I figured I would want to try and get some counters in and see how that would work. So you'll see here, they do kill this Inquisitor team fairly quickly. So we've already got purge on us. And we're going to get some more here with counterattacks, but I personally think they just go through the Inquisitors so quickly that it's probably not the best squad to use. And you'll see here that we ended up with only getting 7 purge, I believe, if I remember correctly. So we'll just double check. But yeah, so 7 with CLS. So it's probably not the best way to farm it, but it is just a little bit of a loophole. So I did try some other teams because I wanted to see if there was something that would work a little bit better. And you can see I've got Amplify Agony on there and Zealous Ambition. And we're at 17 purge now. I just kind of kept throwing teams at this to see if there was a different team that would work better. So we're going to try Jedi here because I had heard a couple of people taking Jedi Master Luke and it working pretty well. I wanted to just bring some people that, wouldn't necessarily hit too hard, but would counter. So we're going to go in with this Jedi Master Luke squad on the Grand Inquisitor node. So again, this is probably going to be fixed for the next Conquest run, but for right now, it's just a way to kind of get a little bit while you're going through the sector if possible. All right, so I really tried to make the battle last as long as possible. So I wasn't going to call anybody to assist. I just wanted counters. I wanted Shock to cleanse purge off of everyone anytime she could. The downside here with Luke is because he's taunting, once he hits 6 stacks, they can't really apply it to anybody else. So I really did have to stay on top of cleansing with Shock and Hermit Yoda. I think maybe another cleanser probably would have been a better option here, but we'll skip ahead here. You kind of get the idea. All right, so we'll just speed this up a little bit. It kind of worked out, to be honest, in my favor that they kept going after Luke, because if he could just die, then eventually they would target some of my other Jedi and we would get some more purge applied to us. So overall, I don't really love this strategy, especially because it is going to get fixed. Like, you know that they're going to fix this. This has been problems in the past like this with Rebel fighters come to mind, to be honest, and marked. So I can see them patching this for the next run. But for this run, if it's a feat that you need to get that red crate, you might as well take advantage. So I believe we had 17 before we started this run, if I remember correctly. And we ended it at 28. So it doesn't count all of the purge. It only counts the ones I believe that you're countering on. So this is another team that I'm going to show you here. This is a team that a lot of people are having success with. I am not. So you have to have Volatile Accelerator. You don't want discs that are going to be doing a lot of damage. So I just put on some kind of survivability discs here. And like I said, a lot of people have been having success with this and getting around 100 purge per battle. I have not been able to make it work. So I'm hoping once I get some more survivability discs, it will work a little bit better for me. But I want to show you the strat anyway, because if you can make it work for yourself, that's the goal, right? So we're at 49. Obviously, I've been tinkering with this feat several times. And you're going to go against a Padme team. So the reason why you want to go against Padme is because you actually can't manipulate their turn meter here. So even though you have Volatile Accelerator equipped, you're just manipulating your own turn meter to gain it, to gain turn meter when you inflict debuffs, but you're not manipulating Padme's and her teammates to give them turn meter with Volatile Accelerator. So you want Palpatine lead, 8th brother, 5th brother, and 7th sister was what I've tried here. A lot of people are also using 9th sister instead of 5th brother, which I will show you later on. And then you want a pre-tank, or a pre-taunting tank. So I personally like to use Sith Empire Trooper. A lot of people are also using crew. Totally depends on what you're comfortable with. If you need crew's stamina low, or sorry, his stamina high so that you can get your first order wins, you probably don't want to use him. And I would recommend using a different one that's going to take the initial onslaught from Padme and everyone. So the idea is you take the initial onslaught, your tank does, and hopefully you get a turn before they go and start killing your Inquisitors like they've done to me. So this obviously is not the best case scenario, but I do want to show you it. You will get your purge out there. The idea is just kind of keep inflicting it. Obviously, you can only do it on GK right now because he's taunting, but once you can get around the taunt, when you can dispel it, you're able to kind of go through the other members on the squad and keep feeding your turn meter because you keep inflicting debuffs. So the really great thing here is the damage that they are doing to you from their modifier can't kill you. So they're only going to kill you if they actually get to take a turn, which, as you can see, they did get to take a turn here. I had not swapped any mods on my Inquisitors when I tried this. I just kind of swapped my discs around. So again, didn't really love this. It was not working. I did not forfeit, obviously, because I do want to get credit for these purges that I am inflicting. So something to keep in mind if it is going south for you, if you have inflicted any amount of purge, I would just let it run out, either time out or let them kill you. That way you're not using up your stamina on your characters, but at least you're getting credit for the purge that you have applied. So we were at 49 there, and we'll just have a look. Of course, I hit the wrong button. So we're at 87. So it was a little bit better, almost 40. And I think if I can survive a little bit longer and take that initial onslaught, it'll be a lot better. So we're going to try it again here. So still at 87. And I want to try it with 9th sister instead. So I'm going to do the exact same discs that I've had on. And I did end up swapping my mods for this one. I wanted to make 9th sister fast and to have 8th brother go after her. So I'm going to take 5th brother out of the equation here and sub in 9th sister instead, but taking the exact same team otherwise. And I'll just show you. So I got 9th sister up to 260 speed. I honestly just swapped her mods out entirely, gave her as much speed as possible. I wanted her to go first out of the team. And then 8th brother, I got up to 254. And I wanted them to kind of tag teams so that we could be dispelling the purge and applying purge and dispelling and applying and so on back and forth, especially if you do get stuck with GK taunting. So they're going straight for crew again, which we know, and obviously going kind of all over the place. I'm definitely going to try this with more survivability discs, but same kind of idea. You get the debuffs out there to feed your turn meter and then start inflicting purge right away. Obviously, if 7th sister was still there, it would be even better because she would be assisting and inflicting more purge, which would feed more turn meter to us. So just something to keep in mind, and why I'm looking at adding survivability discs to this as well. So once we get later in the sectors and pick up some more discs, I think this will work a lot better. This also works really well if you do have Watt and instead of crew. You can do this against a Phoenix team as well. I just didn't have any Phoenix squads in my sector to test it against. and also no nest squads, believe it or not, to test it against. So I have heard that people are using this team against Phoenix, and instead of having Volatile Accelerator, they're going in with Ruthless Swiftness just to kind of feed the turn meter, and it's an infinite loop of attacks. So again, we're at 100. I'm hoping I'll be able to get some more discs and make that work. But in the meantime, moving on. So this is a team that I took in just to kind of get some resistance kills that isn't using a full resistance team. So Jedi Master Luke is your leadership because you want to be calling Rey to assist as much as possible, and you want Watt there to give him the tank tech so that we're able to go in, have Luke taunting the entire time, and then use Jedi Master Luke's leadership ability to call Rey the entire time to get these kills. Of course, the downside with using Volatile Accelerator is stealing a couple of kills occasionally, but if you don't have a full-fledged resistance team and you do have Jedi Master Luke, this would be a good option to get some kills in. Another thing you could do as well is using the Voluntary Vanguard disc. You could force your taunt onto your strongest tank and take in some resistance characters against a team that doesn't have an AoE and get some kills that way. So just other food for thought in case you don't have either of these, but you're able to kind of go through. This is a really slow way to farm these 50 kills. It is doable. I personally just like using a full team. You're going to get more kills, in my opinion. If you can do a full team, I would do it, especially with Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony, because they're going to do a lot of the work for you, and you can kind of just roll over and take the kill with your hit. All right, so looking at the mini boss, we've got 2 feats. The first one I'm going to show you is winning with Hermit Yoda surviving. I did think about doing a full Jedi squad for this, but I wanted to make it a little bit more accessible, and I was curious if my BAM team would still work here. So BAM, Han, and Chewy. I like to take Boba as my 4th scoundrel. And then you're going to take Hermit Yoda. Again, this is the Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony build. So the Volatile Accelerator I have on my account is a gray one, which is what I'm using here. So just keep that in mind. And you will be able to just kind of go through with so many debuffs. You get so many turns, and you can just kind of nuke the team before they really can do any damage to you. So that is pretty much what I did for almost any survival feat, to be honest with you. And then the next one we're going to go in with is winning without Jedi, Sith, or unaligned Force users. You can use that squad again and just sub in another scoundrel that isn't Cat for Hermit Yoda, and it will work because none of them are Jedi, Sith, or Force users. And then again, you can do clones here. So the 501st clones work really nicely, and I like to put Chewy there for guard. And you can see like they don't have 100% stamina. I've been using this team. I've been using both Chewy and the 501st clones repeatedly in other nodes, so they haven't regenerated yet. But it does seem to go pretty smoothly, especially considering they don't have 100% stamina. So pretty straightforward. I like to just kind of spread the debuffs around when I can so that they all get a chance to have damage over time pop. And like I said, as long as you get the win here, you're good. And that will get you no Jedi, no Sith, and no unaligned Force users. All right. So let's have a look at the final boss. So the final boss is a Poe-led resistance team, and you need to win with Finn surviving. And there is a modifier on this boss node that if you kill Poe Dameron, you lose. So you need to kill everyone except Poe, which obviously can be a little bit tricky because he does have a taunt in his kit, so you can't really get around that with this team. you do need to have enough turn meter building, which is where the Amplify Agony and Volatile Accelerator work together. But as you can see, works pretty straightforward. I chose to avoid AoEs because I didn't want to do any damage to Poe if possible. Wanted to make sure he wasn't going to accidentally die. And you get the credit with Finn surviving that way. Alright guys, so that is everything that I am using in Sector 2 right now. If you are having success with the Purge feat, kudos to you. I would love to hear it. I am going to plan to go back and try it again once I've got some more survivability discs sort of collected, and see how that works. I think it is the best way to cheese it is to use Palpatine with the pre-taunting tank against that Padme lead team. It's just a matter of getting the setup to work properly, so you're feeding enough turn meter nonstop to yourself, so that you can kind of just keep going and taking turns and let the battle time out that way instead of getting killed. So again, I just wanted to highlight it because it is a really, really great strategy and a lot of people are having success with it. So if you have success with it, all the better. And if not, I think we'll be able to slowly work on it anyway. Getting 40 to 50 a battle isn't the end of the world. It'll just take a little bit longer than we want it to. So that is that. I will see you tomorrow for Sector 3, where we have to work on some Inquisitor kills. All right, guys, have a good one. I will see you then.